You find that one song, you know the one. The second it ends, you hit replay. Not once, not twice, 20 times, 50 times, until everyone around you is sick of it, but you're not. You're not even close to being done with it. People think you're weird, obsessive, stuck in a loop. But here's what neuroscience just discovered. Your brain isn't broken. You're engaging in something called auditory self-regulation, using music's predictable emotional structure to manage your internal state. And what looks like obsession from the outside is actually sophisticated emotional control from the inside. Let's start with something that's going to completely reframe how you see this habit. Music neuroscientist Dr. Valerie Salimpour at McGill University discovered that when you listen to music you love, your brain releases dopamine, the same neurotransmitter associated with reward, motivation, and pleasure. But here's what's remarkable. The dopamine doesn't just release during the music, it releases in anticipation of your favorite parts. Your brain learns the structure of the song, and it starts releasing dopamine right before the chorus, before the beat drop, before that one lyric that hits differently. When you listen on repeat, you're not just hearing music. You're experiencing a perfectly predictable dopamine cycle that you completely control. And in a chaotic, unpredictable world, that controlled emotional experience is incredibly valuable. Because here's what most people don't understand about song repetition. It's not about the song itself, it's about what the song does for your nervous system. Research from the University of London found that familiar music activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the network responsible for rest, recovery, and emotional regulation. When life feels overwhelming, uncertain, or emotionally intense, your nervous system seeks safety, and nothing says safe to your brain quite like something completely familiar. That song you've heard 200 times, your brain knows every note, every beat, every emotional shift. There are no surprises, no threats, no uncertainty, just predictable comfort. You're not stuck, you're actively choosing the psychological safety of the known. But there's an emotional processing piece here that's absolutely critical. Psychologist Dr. Tia Denora studied how people use music in daily life and found something profound. People don't just listen to music for entertainment. They use it for what she calls emotional work, actively managing, processing, and regulating their feelings. When you replay the same song, you're often processing a specific emotion that the song helps you access, understand, or release. Maybe it's sadness you need to feel fully. Maybe it's anger you need to express safely. Maybe it's joy you want to sustain. The repetition isn't obsession, it's emotional processing. You're working through something, and that song is the tool. Here's something else researchers discovered that validates this completely. Dr. Elizabeth Margulies at Princeton found that musical repetition creates what she calls extended exposure effect. Each time you hear the song, you notice new layers, a background instrument you missed, a lyric that hits differently, an emotional nuance you didn't catch before. The song isn't getting repetitive, you're getting deeper into it. You're extracting more meaning with each listen. First time you hear the melody, fifth time you catch the lyrics, 20th time you feel the emotional architecture, 50th time the song becomes a part of your emotional landscape. You're not stuck, you're going deeper. And here's what they won't tell you in mainstream psychology. Control is a psychological need. You can't control most of your life. You can't control other people, circumstances, the economy, the world. But you can control what song plays next. You can control your emotional environment to that extent. And that tiny island of control, the ability to create your own predictable emotional experience, matters more than people realize. When everything else feels chaotic, you have this song, this feeling, this choice. That's not small, that's survival. Research by Dr. Laura Ferrari shows that the brain's reward response to music is strongest in people with high musical sensitivity, those who experience music more intensely than average. If you're someone who replays songs endlessly, you're likely experiencing music at a depth others don't. You're not hearing it the same way they are. For them, it's background noise. For you, it's an emotional event. Of course, you need more time with it. You're processing more. Here's the hard truth. You live in a world that prizes novelty over depth. New songs, new shows, new content. Always consuming, never savoring. But depth doesn't come from breadth. Understanding doesn't come from skimming the surface of everything. Sometimes you need to dive deep into one thing until you've extracted everything it has to offer. That song on repeat isn't limiting you. It's teaching you something about sustained attention, about emotional depth, about staying with an experience long enough to truly understand it. So here's what you need to understand. That song on repeat is doing something for you, even if you can't articulate what, even if others don't get it. Your nervous system is using it to regulate, your emotions are using it to process, your brain is using it to create predictable comfort in an unpredictable world. Don't apologize for that. Don't justify it. Don't let anyone make you feel weird for knowing what you need and taking it. Comment the song you're currently playing on repeat and how many times you've listened to it this week. Let's see who's got the highest replay count. No judgment, just people who get it.